Hello everyone, thank you for coming back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about weeks 7 and 8 in the Achilles Rupture journey. I'm currently recording this at the end of week 8 and I'm just going to tell you now that things are looking really good. If you've already got to week 8 yourself or you're close to getting to week 8, then it is a good week. Take my word for it, you will start to feel a lot better at the end of week 8. So the purpose of this video is to talk about my progress and my development over the last 2 weeks, which is in week 7 and 8, and how my strength and my exercises have come along and how I'm feeling in general. But before I talk about any of that, I just want to give a bit of a shout out really to the community. Over the past weeks, I've had people subscribing and liking my videos and especially commenting on my videos as well. And I've had some amazing people tell me about their stories, their own struggles, and their own developments in their Achilles journey. And it's really inspired me, to be honest with you. It's really great that I can get talking to you guys. So the people I've replied to, you'll know who you are. I really do appreciate you interacting with me through the comment section and giving me some insights and asking me any questions that you have. It gives me a sense of purpose in doing these videos to begin with. It's nice to just have these comments coming in because I've not really had that before, and it's just making it so much more pleasing to me to be able to do the edits and get my videos up there. It's a great motivator for me to keep doing what I'm doing. So thank you so much to every single one of you that's actually commented, liked and subscribed to my channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you. So if you remember my last video towards the end, I had seen the physio and he had put me in positions 0 to 3. Now, before that, I was in position 1 to 3. And this was that extra bit of increment that the physio wanted me to have in the boot. The purpose of the increment change is so that we could get more flexibility in the Achilles tendon, and to get used to walking outside with the boot. I initially thought that I would have been put into the small wedge at the bottom of the Vacoped boot, but he said to me, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to keep you in the big wedge for now, position 0 to 3 over the next 2 weeks, just to see how things go. So the purpose, obviously, to put those positions in place is so that the movement of the boot itself can flex as you walk, thus allowing you to be able to obviously stretch the back of the tendon gradually over the weeks to increase the healing, increase the strength of the tendon, and to also get that flexibility that you need going forward. As soon as I left that physio appointment, I did feel some stretching in the back and some discomfort in my Achilles tendon. So I just made sure that I didn't put too much weight in that area or try or overstretch too much. I was just very careful whilst walking with the crutches. But within half an hour, I seen a dramatic change. So I decided to go to the beach and just rest up, just take in the views and relax a little bit. And as you can see in the video, I was able to put my weight onto my boot quite easily. And then I had a little bit of work to do, so I got myself a coffee after that. And by the time I got home, I was feeling quite comfortable in that position. I didn't feel the strain that I had after I left the physio department, so this was a really big thumbs up. So I'll just show you here what the boot looks like and its positioning. As you can see here, the boot position is from 0 to 3 now instead of 1 to 3, and as you can see in the video, I can flex the boot quite well, which looks like quite a lot of leeway, and you probably think that this is quite a lot for the tendon to sustain actually when it's walking. But in the demonstration of the video, you can see me trying to push my knee over the toes of my foot. As you can see, there isn't a massive amount of movement there. And actually it's really, really safe because it's within the Vacoped boot. It actually doesn't allow you to overstretch your Achilles heel to the point of you rupturing it or damaging it further. So obviously the Vaco boot is such a great piece of kit. Just trust in that boot whenever you're walking or putting weight through it, because I don't think it's there to cause injury. In fact, it will do the complete opposite. So that day, after the physio, I decided to put some exercises in place. So I'm going to run through the exercises that I've been doing, just so you know that you're supposed to be doing them as well. So one of the main exercises was to use the band to get some plantar flexion going and some contraction in the calf itself. I was actually looking forward to doing this exercise. I tried it a little bit before the physio appointment, but he did tell me, this is one that you need to be doing quite often now. So yeah, as you can see in the video, there isn't a massive amount of plantar flexion movement. There isn't a massive amount of contraction in the calf muscle either. But this is quite a good one to do. Within the first day or two of doing this, I did feel some discomfort in the back of my Achilles. So I just made sure that I did it nice and slow and I didn't push myself too far. So I would say that when you're doing this, just listen to your body, feel what's going on mindfully with your leg, and just don't push yourself too far. As long as you're getting some kind of contraction in that plantar flexion, then that's a great starting point. That will progress over the next 2 weeks and you will get stronger. Now, it is safe to say that when I'm doing this exercise in the video, you can see the calf muscle contracting. Now, if this is happening, it means that everything's working according to plan. So if you're at week 7 yourself and you've started doing these and you are seeing what you're seeing in the video, it means that your Achilles tendon has healed and stitched together. It also means that your soleus muscle has gained strength, and also your calf muscle, your gastrocnemius, has gained strength, and they're all working in conjunction with each other. So the exercises previously, when you first started doing them, when you came out of the cast, has led you up to this stage. And it's a great feeling to actually see your muscle contracting properly and to feel it all working in conjunction with each other too. I also tried to do some kind of modified exercise for dorsiflexion as well. I'd seen something online where you could wrap the band around something static, hook your foot into that band, as you can see in the video, and pull that band towards you. But I'll be honest with you, after I tried that, I stopped using that exercise completely. I don't feel that it has much effectiveness at this stage at week 7, because you don't have much dorsiflexion. You're only just getting your foot to neutral, so you can't push it past a certain point, and the band just slips off the top of your foot anyway. So even though I tried it, it could work for some of you, but I don't recommend it. It didn't really come across as useful to me. One exercise that I did take upon myself to do, which the physio didn't mention doing at all, it's only through research and other videos that I've watched, was to sit at the end of my bed and to put a small thin book underneath my heel and do some plantar flexion, which is like pushing into the floor itself to get those contractions. So similar to how the band would work, but in this way it can be a little bit more controlled. Now, apparently this exercise is quite useful to do because it actually targets the soleus muscle a lot more than the calf muscle itself. So if you feel like your soleus muscle has not been contracting much and it hasn't been strengthening very well, give this one a go in week 7 and 8. Just obviously be mindful when doing it, because it can be quite difficult to do, but just do it very slow and controlled. Ensure that that book is under your heel whenever you're bringing your heel back to the floor, because you don't want to be overstretching the Achilles tendon at all. So yeah, I highly recommend this one. This one really worked well for me. And at the end of week 8, I actually was using something weighted on top of my knee to help me along with this as well, so that I could build more strength to it. Now, the reps for both of these exercises, the banded exercise and the heel lift, they would be 20 to 30 reps, and I would do them around 3 to 5 sets. Now, some of you may only be able to do 20 reps 3 times, but if you can push yourself, I highly recommend going ahead and doing that. You're at the stage now where your Achilles is strong enough to be able to do these exercises and to do probably more of them to a certain extent. Always listen to the body. If you feel any pain, stop doing what you're doing. But in general, I felt it was really useful to be pushing myself to 30 and doing 5 sets every other day. I would say that between those sets, make sure that you're resting for about 30 seconds up to a minute, even 2 minutes if you need to. Just don't be going straight into those exercises straight away after you've rested, okay? In this video, you can see that I'm testing my walking ability out without the boot as well within my bedroom. As you can see, I'm not doing very well. Most of my weight goes through the heel. I'm not really pushing through the toes at all, but it is nice to know that I can actually walk a little bit now. And I think the biggest one here isn't necessarily the flexibility in your Achilles being restricted. It's actually the toe itself. The big toe I found at week 7 and 8 was very restricted in its movement. So what I did at the end of week 7 going into week 8 is I would give my sole of my foot a really good massage. Pull the toe back to a comfortable level as far as you can go without causing any pain. Then at the underside of your foot, you've got actually, I think, 3 tendons underneath your foot. One of them is a big tendon which attaches your toe to the back of your heel. Now, this has become very tight because of the restricted movements over the months that I've had. So I really worked my thumb, and I did actually feel a lot of knots in the bottom of my foot in this tendon area. So I would highly recommend giving that a go. It does hurt. It does cause pain at the bottom of your foot. Obviously, don't pull your toe back too far and just work it through. Warm it up and work it through. And then by doing that a couple of times in the week, I actually found a lot of flexibility in my toe, and I was able to bring my toe towards me in dorsiflexion a lot better as well. So if you do feel a restriction in that toe area, give this a go. It might actually help you a lot. Failing that, if you're too cautious about pulling that toe, the big toe, back a bit, just try and see whether you can get an old squash ball or a tennis ball. Just any ball that has some firmness to it, which is yay big, and put that under your foot whilst you're sat at the edge of your bed, and try to roll your foot over the top of that. Try to put a little bit of pressure in if you can, obviously not putting too much pressure at the back of the heel, just to try and smooth out that tendon, and you'll definitely feel the area that I'm on about when you start doing that. It's very uncomfortable, but I swear that once you do that a few times over the week, you'll feel a lot of flexibility in the toe and in the foot area, and this can actually help your tendon gain further flexibility, and especially in the heel area as we go forward too. Then one of the main exercises obviously would be to be in the boot itself, which is doing heel lifts. So the way I did this is I would put my hands against the wall or a door, and I would just go ahead and try to do the heel lifts in the boot. It just felt very uncomfortable to me though. To begin with, I just felt like I was going to injure myself. So the boot is there to make sure that injury doesn't occur. It is quite a daunting exercise to do at the beginning, but once you do it a few times, it becomes easy enough. And I highly recommend doing this one as much as you can. But I did find that I could only do about 15 to 20 reps to begin with, and I only did about 3 sets in total, like a few times a day if possible. To help with this, put a book or something sturdy under your opposite leg just to raise that leg off the floor a little bit to just even things out, because the wedge is quite big and it doesn't quite work when you're tiptoeing on your opposite leg. So if you can stand on something, that would really help you do those heel raises a lot better. I would then go ahead and do the single leg exercises. Now you could continue to do this in the boot. It's probably advised that you do it in the boot, but if you've already got a neutral position and the physio has said to you that you have maintained that neutral position in the appointment, then go ahead and try to do it without the boot. If you need to put something underneath the heel, like a small wedge or something, give that a go. But I feel like if you do this enough, it actually eases up the back of the heel a lot. And over the weeks, it really did help me. Make sure that when you are standing on that one leg, that you maintain a straight body and also elevate the chest as well. You want to make sure that everything's as straight as possible in the body so that you're maintaining that stretch as best as possible. Obviously, if you're pushing yourself, don't do that, but try to aim to get to that full standing position with your chest held high. Now, combining all of these together, plus any of the exercises you've done previously, such as pushing against the wall with your foot, or standing in the boot, massaging the area. If you continue to do those as well as the new ones, you're going to see huge improvements. At the end of week 7, in this video, you can see that I'm able to walk with the boot without any crutches. Now, I'm only showing this video as a demonstration and an example of how you can actually fully weight bear through the boot. I only did this video to demonstrate that. Please don't go ahead and start walking outside without your crutches. That would be silly. Please always use your crutches when you're going out. As you can see here, in week 8, I was able to actually bring my feet completely together and stand up straight. Now, if any of you have ever done the mountain pose in yoga, I would recommend you try to get to this stage. This is what I was doing here. I was putting my feet together and trying to stay in that position for about 30 seconds to a minute. And this really helped in my flexibility going forward. It was such a nice feeling to be able to put my feet together and actually stand up correctly and straight. And as you can see in this video, the calf development in my right leg is so much smaller than my left leg in this position. So there's plenty of work still to be done, plenty of strength exercises that still need to be utilized so that I can start building the strength up in that calf and making it bigger. Over those 2 weeks, I would get some oil or moisturizer of some sort, and I would actually massage the area of my injury. So massaging the area of your injury is super important in my opinion. I naturally had some scar tissue and a little bit of some swelling at the site of the injury itself. This is completely normal, I think. Some of us may have it bigger than others, but by massaging that area, it helps break down that scar tissue. It helps get the blood flowing and alleviate that swelling. So I highly recommend that you do this. So if you try to work your thumb at the sides of the Achilles itself, also on the Achilles tendon, also the soleus and the gastrocnemius as well, make sure that you're massaging all of the rear of the lower leg in all areas, even around the ankle area. Massage your foot, massage the tops of your foot, just massage everywhere as much as you can, and this will help progress the healing and break down any scar tissue. Hopefully by doing that, we're going to increase the flexibility in the tendon as well. And obviously if we increase that flexibility, then we're going to be in a better place going forward. So the difference can be having a tight tendon because of scar tissue or having a more flexible tendon. And the difference of those two is one of them can be a higher probability of you rupturing your tendon in the future or not. So I know it can be a bit of a pain, but just try and massage that scar tissue, and it is quite painful to start off with, and try to ease it out because it's only going to do you better in the future. And before I went to my physio appointment at the end of week 8, I just wanted to see what my actual flexibility was like in my tendon. So as you can see here in the video, I would put my toe against the wall. I would support myself with my hands on the wall as well when I do this, in case I slip in any way. And I try to bring my knee as close to the wall as possible. Now, as you can see in this video, this is where I'm up to. It isn't very far at all. I'm quite a way away from the wall. I would say I'm a full fist size away from the wall. So hopefully over the next 2, 3, 4 weeks, maybe by the end of week 10 or 12, I should be able to be touching the wall with my knee. Now, I know that I have walked around the house without the boot. Now, I told my physio this at the end of week 8, and I got told off. Not in a bad way. They just basically said it's completely my risk if I do that. They don't want me to do that, okay? And they said I shouldn't have been doing that without holding on to some kind of support, either the crutches or some tabletop units or something, just to keep me supported, because you know, if you stand on something sharp or if you slip, your tendency will be to put your foot out and catch yourself, and that's where a new rupture could occur. So I was very confident in doing that. I would relay what they say though, is please have some kind of support that you're holding on to if you're going to try that. Last thing you want to be doing is falling over and then rupturing yourself again. So please be careful. And if you don't feel comfortable walking around without your boot, then don't. Just keep your boot on all the time when you're walking. It's better to be safer than sorry. Now, one thing I really want to talk about, which is a massive positive for me, is sleep. So over these past 6, 7 weeks, 8 weeks, I've been wearing a boot in bed, and we all will be doing that. But at the end of week 7, I decided not to do that no more. Now, the physio won't probably recommend this for whatever reason, but I felt completely confident enough to not wear the boot anymore. So I had a way with it at night time. I didn't even use my elevated cushion anymore. I just felt absolutely comfortable to go to bed like a normal human being. Now, I'm a side sleeper, and one thing I really recommend is if you are sleeping on the side, get a pillow or a cushion and put it in between your knees, so that if there is any movement or anything in the night, you're going to be quite safe. You're not going to be pushing against your Achilles in any way, and it's going to be nice and comfortable as well. So this is a really good positive to look forward to in week 7 or 8, is that you can get rid of that boot and actually sleep comfortably. I think the aim of week 7 and 8 is to be able to get you to stand up straight, and to weight bear as much as you can evenly on both your feet. I think if you're doing that at the end of week 8, then I think you're doing well. Week 7 and 8 are really good weeks to be doing and to be getting past. And I think once you get to this stage, you're going to be feeling a lot more positive about your journey going forward. and you'll actually start seeing the future of normality again. So it's a really good positive time. So I recommend sticking to your exercises, knowing your limitations, getting outside and walking with the boot in this position as much as possible, so that when you come to weeks 9 and 10, you're in the best position possible for progression and developing your strength in your Achilles. I certainly can't wait for weeks 9 and 10 to be over with, so that I can actually get out of the boot, because according to the timeline, that's when that's going to happen. So I really do hope you all stay tuned for my next video, which will talk about weeks 9 and 10. I'll go through everything the physio said, the exercises and my development of that as well. And hopefully, fingers crossed, by the end of week 9 or 10, I'll be actually in some trainers with a wedge. So fingers crossed. So again, I just want to say thank you. I really appreciate you watching my videos and interacting with me. I think it's brilliant that we're able as a community to talk about something that we relate to and that we can help one another with. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate it if you did, so that I can actually get these videos out to more people, so that hopefully I can help them too. I really hope that this video has helped you and given you a bit of insight into weeks 7 and 8. And I will look forward to seeing you all again in weeks 9 and 10. So hope to hear from you soon, and I'll catch you later. Take care.